to Books, Beer
and Wine.
Cheers.
I'm Cora.
And I'm Karina.
And today we are going to discuss Shuggie Bain by Douglas Stuart.
This is my favorite book of the year, and the year is almost over, so who knows, maybe it's my favorite book of the year. So far it is.
So, what is it about?
Shuggie Bain tells the story of Shuggie Bain, and it's set in the 80s and in Glasgow, which is also known as the Margaret Thatcher era. The story is about a working class family, and Shuggie is the little son, and he's about 6 years old, I guess, six-ish when the story starts. And his family lives in very poor circumstances, and it's a little bit more depressing to see the circumstances in which this family lives. I think it's very depressing.
It is.
And the author describes this so well that you have the feeling to be part of that family, to witness their lifestyle and their conversations, and
you're feeling with them.
Definitely, and that makes this book so special for me because it creates an atmosphere that I've rarely witnessed in a book, because from page 10 onwards I was part of the story. And yeah, Shuggie is the little boy who is kind of abandoned from his father, because the father, well, he's not really part of the family. He's always absent, even if having affairs with other women.
Yes, tons of affairs, and even if he's not absent, he's absent.
Yes.
So.
And the father is a very manly character.
What society tells us what is manly.
Exactly,
yeah.
and Shuggie is the complete opposite. He's a very sensitive little boy, and he cares a lot for other people, and he thinks too much.
Yeah, he loves dancing.
He loves dancing.
He's a very good dancer.
So you can imagine that his father is not very fond of him, because he wished he had another kind of son who was more manly like he is.
Yeah.
Shuggie's mother, Agnes, kind of hoped for a better life, and she always drinks when she's feeling shitty, which is every day. So she's an alcoholic. And Shuggie loves his mom more than anything, and they have a special bond, and
he wants to save her.
Yeah, that's basically the story. He wants to save his mom, which is a task that shouldn't be a task for a little boy, because it's way too much for him to take care of. Yeah. And he helps his mother dress. He puts out her tights when she's drunk and passed out on the sofa.
She's a very well-clad woman.
Yes.
So she's always wearing skirts and dresses and going with a very specific kind of tights. So it has to be that one brand, that specific color,
and she always wears lots of makeup to look pretty.
High heels.
So she tries to present another picture of herself and her family when she steps outside, to not reveal the true sadness, drama that's really happening at home. And that's basically the story. So Shuggie always hopes that his mom stops drinking, and that they can be a family again with lots of love and all the activities moms and young boys should be doing together. What was your favorite character in that book?
I think that's pretty obvious. So certainly Shuggie, and you might have sensed that he is not straight, but what both of us really loved about that plot or about this part of his personality was that it never really entered the story as such. So you get a sense, and at some point he says that he's not into girls, or that he has a feeling that he might not be into girls, and so you figure that out over the story. And I mean, in the beginning you could still assume that he might be just a very sensitive boy, which is completely fine as well, but yeah.
But it turns out he really is not into women at all.
Yeah.
But the author doesn't make it a subject in the
No.
book. Not really.
No.
It's
who he is,
Yeah.
but his story is not centered on his sexuality, and I love that part.
yeah. And you always want to. Shuggie is such a sweet little boy
Yeah.
with so much love that you just want to hug him and tell him, oh, it's gonna be okay. And you feel for him, and sometimes this book made me cry so much because I felt so sorry for him and all he has to go through at that small age.
Yeah, he has lots of love and lots of hope, despite his circumstances.
He
He
never
is
gives up.
such a hopeful boy, and that's
Admirable.
and yeah, it's admirable, but
Not admirable. Very admirable.
admirable. But it's also very sad.
Yes.
It's sad how much he is fighting for something he shouldn't have to fight for.
Exactly. And whenever his mom passes out again, after maybe being sober for a few days or weeks, then there comes another time when she passes out again, and you know, okay, she can't beat that sickness.
It's
Yes.
a disease. Yeah.
And you always hope with little Shuggie that this time it's going to be better, and she seems to fail all the time.
Yeah.
But did you like the character of Agnes?
Of course I did, and I know that you did.
Yes, I loved Agnes. Definitely a cool
She's
character.
a shitty mom, so we have to say that. She's a shitty mom, but she can't help it.
But she has so much love for her little boy as well. And you know that she wants to be another person.
Yeah.
She doesn't always, she doesn't only want to pretend to be another person, but she wants to be another person. But she just can't help it, given the circumstances, so that she always falls back into that same habit. And I really liked her a lot as a character, and I can understand why this is such a strong bond between Agnes and Shuggie.
Yeah, certainly. She's a very interesting character.
Yeah, definitely.
I liked her as well. Not as mom, but as a person.
Yes.
The story is based on the author's own life. So it's not his story entirely, but it's
Part of it
it's
happened to him.
yeah, most of it is inspired, or many parts are inspired by his own story. So I would advise that you don't look into his biography before reading that.
Yeah.
I did that at some point, and so I
You
knew
knew
something which wasn't super surprising, but I knew something, and I think I would have preferred to not know that.
Yeah, that's a good advice.
Yeah.
So what makes this book so very special?
The honesty. I think it's the honesty.
The honesty, and I think it's, despite being such a sad story and depressing story, you can feel so much hope.
Yeah. Or maybe not feel, but you said that yesterday. It shows that in the worst of circumstances, like Shuggie is in, you can still feel hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the best reads I've ever had.
Yeah.
I would love for many other people to read it, because I think that this book truly deserves lots of readers.
It does. It does.
And
So what are we gonna discuss next?
do you have an idea?
We haven't discussed this yet, but
Maybe we will surprise you.
See you next time with a surprise book.
And enjoy Shuggie Bain.
Yes, do that.
See you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye.